No, no mention at all. We don't care about what's in the script. Of course, if it's a good film, it's even better. But the only limit is that it has to be what we call a fiction, which means a feature film, a TV drama, TV series. It can be animation, but it cannot be a documentary, it cannot be a commercial or a talk show for TV. It has to tell a story. That's what we call a fiction in the French sense of the word.
And can you tell us what happened? I mean, how it...
I would say, first of all, it came from the people who were tired of being in touch with foreign productions, coming to see locations, coming to scout, going all over the country, telling us, this is the castle I need for my film, and then going back home and calling 2 weeks later saying, yes, but it's too expensive, I'm going to another country. So it means it's us, it's the film commissioners, because our job is to help all the producers and the directors and the filmmakers to shoot. And it's also the technical industries, the people renting the material, the people, the studios. All these guys, the technical industries in France, they were like us, fed up seeing all these productions coming to France and leaving immediately because it was too expensive. So we first did studies. We first, looked for figures, calculated exactly how we should do so. Should it be a rebate? How can we do that? And then, of course, we lobbied the government. We depend on the Ministry of Culture, so we spoke with them, explaining how it works. And then the technical industries, they lobbied the senators and the deputies to explain, to tell them, this is all the money that could come, that's all the money that could be spent in France. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of people who could be actually working. It's a lot of images of France who could be seen in the world, and that's good for tourism. And so the only way we can have them is to vote the same kind of system that exists in other countries. It's 20% off. And this is how it went. It took about 4 years.
Because even though you had the numbers, you had the possibility of promoting France.
Well, it's never obvious because, first of all, in France there are many incentives for French films. So whenever when you speak with a deputy or a senator, he's not specialized in the movie industry. He has to know many things about many topics. So whenever you come to him and say, this is for the movie business, first of all, he knows there already is a lot of money, incentives, subsidies in France for the movie business. So you have to convince him to listen for 15 minutes because you're going to speak only about foreign production and why. So it's a big demonstration. But then you're not the only one knocking at the door and saying, we need money to develop the market. Because you have sometimes, it's the environmental issues, which I can understand for a deputy much more important than the film business. And then you have hospitals, streets, cars, schools, everything. So you're always trying to find the little window and making them understand it's going to create employment, which is the most important to them. People working, earning their lives, being able to have a decent life, pay for the school of their kids and everything. So I understand why it takes time. It's a very specialized issue. It's a little technical. You have to get them to listen to you until the end. And there are many people on the line trying to explain them things about other topics. So I understand why it's long.
And can you tell us what is the role of Film France?
In the process of creating the rebate?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, we designed the rebate, meaning we had to imagine, we knew that if ever one day someone listens to us, a deputy, a senator, the minister, if he listens to us, we have to make him understand the problem, but bring him the solution. So we worked a lot because we wanted from the very beginning to imagine a scheme that was user-friendly, very simple for foreign producers, simple to understand, a scheme that was not too expensive for the French government, and a scheme that was compatible with the European regulation. If France is in Europe, we have to obey some rules. So we needed, and that took a little time to convince the right. And once we were convinced, after several months, that this was the way we should do it, then we started to do meetings. The technical industries, they actually met all the parliamentarians, so that's the deputies and the senators, to explain them how it works. And we met with the CNC, the National Center for Cinema, who helped us a lot to get that voted. It's the CNC who subsidizes my agency, so they know us very well. And they belong to the Ministry of Culture. So they helped us to speak to the Ministry of Culture and to organize a meeting with the Ministry of Finance, which was the other one person we needed to convince. because in the end, rebates always come from the finance ministry. So this is also why it took so much time. You have many different people, someone to present the law, but if the ministers don't agree, it never happens. So it took a lot of time. We did I would say the expertise, how much money, how it's going to work, for whom, what's the limit, what's the cap, and then we did some meetings to convince them.